Hello, everyone. This is Glenn here in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. Today is the third day of January, 2025. How you guys doing? During my rock and roll years in the 1970s, this is one of my favorite songs by Led Zeppelin. And this speaks to me so strongly about the woman I love and the seasons that have passed between us and is still passing between us now until our reconciliation, which I'm trusting is going to be this spring, toward the end of April 2025, as I've been saying. I've been speaking about how God uses anything and everything in our lives to speak to us, and He uses whatever we're into, whatever we watch, whatever we read, whatever we listen to, whatever we're surrounded with, to speak to us by the Spirit of God. And if only we had a sensitive soul and spirit to be fine-tuned to His voice, as Jesus said. He who is in control of the seasons, there is a time and season for all things God does under the sun, speaks to us through all different types of means. Day after day, He pours forth speech, night after night. There isn't a sound where His voice does not go out to the ends of the earth. So here we are now in New York City, and it's still cold. I don't like the cold weather because I mean, when I go out, I can, do things, get around. I've gotten used to the cold weather, but I certainly don't like it. I love the springtime. I love the summer. And I'm looking forward to this spring more than any other springtime in my life. Many years ago, God used this to speak to me that there's coming a second season between the two of us. See the first line here? It is the springtime of my loving. The second season I am to know. Only I would know what God has shown me, and that's how I'm going to speak, what He has shown me. That my friend that the Lord took away from me, who I wanted to become my girlfriend and eventually my wife, is going to be coming back out of her own free choice and own free will, one spring, 1 year. And it's going to be the second opportunity between us by the God of restoration, the God of new beginnings, the God of second chances. I cannot tell you how many times in these earlier years He confirmed to me through so many different sources what He was showing me. It says in the New Testament record in the book of Hebrews, remember the days when you were formerly enlightened. When God began to enlighten me about her, He was speaking to me everywhere about her. In my heart, in my soul, the love that was there growing within me, I was crazy about her, and I still am. Because she's a beautiful woman in every way. And the Holy Spirit takes anything He wants to and highlights it for our life. This second season I am to know with her is going to be the springtime of my loving. It's going to be the springtime of her loving. The real love that God has for the both of us, whom God joins together, let not man separate, is designed and has been orchestrated by God over all of these years. And she's going to come looking for me out of her own free choice and own free will, as the Lord has been working in her, the desire. And then she's going to feel this estrangement from me. She's going to be saying to herself, why did I push him away from me? It all had to be this way. Growing is all part of life. We grow into the fruit and manifestation of all that God has for us over time. It starts as a seed, eventually grows into a full blooming plant. We are the planting of the Lord, that He may be glorified. And I've been saying that the seeds that were planted between the both of us in those earlier years that we got to know each other are going to bloom into the second season we're going to have with each other. Here it says, you are the sunlight in my growing. I call her my sunshine girl. She just radiates the glow that I want to be around the rest of my life. Here it says, so little warmth I have felt before. Her real essence caused me to feel from her what I want to feel for the rest of my life. And I'm going to be able to have that warmth back in my life when she's back in my life. It isn't hard to feel me glowing. Man, I was glowing the first few years I got to know her. She just brought it all out of me. And then it says, I watched the fire that grew so low. That's what happened when the Lord took us apart. He opens doors no man can shut. He shuts doors that no man can open. It is the summer of my smiles. Flee from me, keepers of the gloom. What is this saying to me? What I believe is that when she comes back at the end of April, by the time summer rolls around and we're having our relationship, we're spending time together, wherever we're going to be spending time together, it's going to be the summer of my smiles having her back in my life. And the gloom I have felt for all of these years without her is going to flee from me. She's going to speak to me with her eyes that are so beautiful. She's going to look at me. I'm going to look at her. Of course, we're going to have conversation, but she's going to speak to me from her soul. It radiates through her beautiful eyes as she looks at me. Here it says, it is to you I give this tune. It is my life that I give to her. Ain't so hard to recognize. These things are clear to all from time to time. I said to her, take a good look at who's in front of you. It won't be so hard for you to recognize that it's me, that God has chosen for you, when it's time for you to see it. I had to give her the space and the time to see it for herself. These things become clear to all from time to time. These things will become clear to her at the right time. Here it says, I felt the coldness of my winter. I thought it would never go. I cursed the gloom that sent upon us. But I know that I love you so. Oh, but I know that I love you so. That's what has been giving me the fuel and energy to outlast 18 years of waiting upon God for her. In my God-ordained wilderness, and I'm sure in hers, she's felt the coldness of a winter of seasons without a real love in her life. Same with me. And just like her, and I'm sure she would say, yes, this is true, I thought it would never grow. Never grow. It just like it lingers on. You know, it says in the book of Habakkuk, the vision is yet for the appointed time, though it linger long, wait for it, because it'll surely come. At the end, it'll not lie or prove to be a lie when it's genuinely from God. But the fulfillment of it will speak in its fulfillment. Excuse me. The reality of her back in my life and me back in hers will be speaking. But the gloom is in our God-ordained wilderness. But there's gloom in the midst of joy, peace in the midst of pain. I have had the joy of the Lord and the peace of God in the midst of gloom and sadness all the years that we've been apart. In feeling the coldness of my winter, we're in winter now. I never thought it would go. Well, I knew it would go, but when it lingers on, You ask yourself, when is this all going to end? These lingering seasons of waiting upon God. I curse the gloom that set upon us, but I know I love you so. The last time we met and spoke together was a Thursday, August 19, 2010. We met for 3.5 hours on Shore Road. And I told her I would never stop loving her. I will wait as long as I have to for her. And she looked at me and baffled amazement said, why would you do this to yourself? Well, see what it says here? It's because I love you so. These are the seasons of emotion. And boy, have I had this. Like the wind, they rise and fall because it's the wonder of devotion. My devotion to her and to the vision that God gave me for her. I see the torch we all must hold. There's a torch within me that I've been rising all these years through the darkness, through 18 years without her. I've held this torch because it's God's torch, and I've been willing to hold it to win her love. This is the mystery of the quotient. Upon us a little rain must fall, but after the rain falls, the sunshine comes back into our lives.
The sunlight in my growing, so little warmth I felt before knowing. It isn't hard to feel me glowing. I watch the fire